Hello, my dear students. Today, I, Harshita Mishra, will teach you the part number 3 of chapter number 2 of biological classification. We'll study about the diversity of kingdom fungi. As R.H. Whitaker has divided the diversity of living organisms into 5 kingdoms, and those were Monera, Protista, and fungi, plantae, and animalia. So, in this very part, we'll study about the kingdom fungi, the diversity of kingdom fungi. So, let's begin with kingdom fungi. These figures I have shown you here is just to give you the idea about how the fungi means those living organisms on the earth which are achlorophyllous. Achlorophyllous means they do not perform chlorophyll, so they not cannot perform photosynthesis as well. So they have been kept into the another kingdom, and that is kingdom fungi. So these are all the figures of the kingdom fungi you can see here, and the mushrooms, you can say the classes of those that comes under mushrooms. Mushrooms are placed in the kingdom fungi. There are several fungi in here. You can see here in this very figure where my cursor is here. You can see here this is a rotten food, and on the rotten food, fruit, whatever it is, always the growth is of fungi. And for the fermentation we used yeast also, and that yeast is also what, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. The name given to a scientific name of that yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and that is for the fermentation to takes place. So those, that is also a fungi. So you will study about the how those diversity of the fungi have been placed into several different classes. So first of all, let's see the characteristics of kingdom fungi. They are unicellular, they may be multicellular organisms, are eukaryotes and have cellular walls, and the tissue formations do not take place. They are heterotrophs, means they are totally dependent on the another organisms in the form of saprophytes, parasites, and in the form of symbionts. And examples I have given here is molds, yeast, and mushrooms are all comes into kingdom fungi. See, what is saprophytes, what is parasites, what are symbionts? The saprophytes are those which are dependent on the dead and decaying organic matter for the intake of their nutritions. So there are several saprophytic fungi which are totally dependent on the dead and decaying organic matter. You have found a growth of an organism on the dead and decaying organic matter. That dead and decaying organic matter, actually that fungi grows to degrade that organic matter, and from that degradation it takes the nutrition as well. So those fungi are termed as the saprophytic fungi, which takes their nutrition from the dead and decaying organic matters. And if we talk about what is parasitic fungi or what are parasites, so parasitic fungi are those fungi which needs a particular host to take their nutrition. They sometimes they are host specific. They need a specific host for the nutrition intake, and in turn that host is totally damaged. In turn, that host is totally damaged, and this is known as the parasitic kind of relationship among the fungi and the host. Now if we talk about what are symbionts, the symbionts is a kind of a mutual association between fungi and the host, and those fungi and host together, fungi takes their nutrition from the host without destroying the host. Means if it takes something from the host, then host also takes something from that very fungi. So this kind of relationship in which there is a mutual association between these two organisms is termed as what, symbiotic kind of relationship. How they reproduce, their mode of reproduction is mainly by the spores also, and that spores can reproduce sexually, asexually also. And their interactions, if you find, you will found their habitat, means interaction means where they generally found to be um, enormously found, and that place is known as their habitat. Their habitat is mostly, they are found in those soils which are dark and wet, shady, moist, shady places. That are the best places for them to interact with the environment. So these are all the general things about the fungi, kingdom fungi. See their how they are divided into different classes. Firstly, we'll talk about the first very class of the fungi, that is about the diversities of lower fungi. Means they are termed as Phycomycetes. These Phycomycetes asexually reproduce by motile spores, which is known as zoospores, and non-motile, which is termed as aplanospores. Always remember motile spores and non-motile spores. These terminologies are very much important for if you are being a biology student, you must know about all these terminologies so that it can help you in the coming time. So remember, the motile spores are termed as the zoospores. If somebody talks about you like zoospores, what is zoospores? So how will you distinguish the zoospores from the aplanospores? So you will say that zoospores are those spores that have some kind of motility in them, and aplanospores are totally non-motile kind of the spores, means they do not have any kind of motility in them. Now we talk about the spores, how the spores, where their spores are found, means what is the spore, what, where they are found. So these spores are the sexually reproducing body, and means they are reproductive body, sexually or asexually both. These are reproducing body, you can say spores are reproducing bodies, and they are found to be enclosed inside a sporangium, which is a box like ball like structures, which encloses it's in inside itself a small dot like structures, small ball like structures, which are termed as spores. And the sporangium, you can define those sporangium is a kind of a structure present on the sporangiophore, that provides the provides a home for the spores. That is a place where the spores reside, is known as the sporangium. And after the fusion of the sporangium, these spores comes out into the environment and they form a zygospores. Mycelium is cynocytic, multiple nucleus, means the mycelium is cynocytic, means that the mycelium is cynocytic. I will show you in the next very slide. Don't worry what I'm talking about, cynocytic, mycelium. And see here, for example, I have given you here the example of mucor and albugo in the lower fungi. These mucor and albugo are the lower fungi members. And see here, if we talk about, see this figure, the main difference between mucor and rhizopus is that mucor, the hyphae of the mucor is very much less branched in comparison to, wait a second, see here, see here, this is what, this is a structure, complete structure is sporangium indicated here, and this is a what, apophysis, means a collar like structure which provides a support to the this sporangium. And here is the sporangiophore. You can also call this also a sporangiophore. This was also a stem-like structure, which is a sporangiophore. Always remember terminologies. The sporangiophore on which the sporangium are present, and those sporangium contain spores. Okay, everything is related to spore. So the thing you have to remember is that what structure is the sporangiophore I'm talking about, what I'm talking about sporangium. So always remember these terminologies. And these are the sporangiospores that are being released from the sporangiums. And see here, this is a stolon like structure, this is a rhizoids, and these are termed as hyphae also. These are termed as hyphae. Okay, and the main difference between the structure of mucor and rhizopus, you will found that rhizopus are found near but more branched. This is not so branched, but in rhizopus we will found the very much branched structure. This is a dehiscence of spores shown here. Huh. You have always found that on the bread, which is a stale bread, on the stale bread on which you are not using for a long time, or it has been kept for a long time, it becomes stale. So in that very bread, you have found something grown on that. That grown on that blue color body, greenish blue color like bodies, and those greenish blue color like the organisms that grow on the bread is your what, fungi. And that fungi is your mucor, which is also called as bread mold. And rhizopus, I guess it's called black mold. You can go through which mucor, what mucor is the scientific term given to that algae fungi, sorry. And that it has also been called with a common name, I guess it's bread mold. Okay, so go through that which is called the bread mold and which is called the black mold. Okay, so this is all about, I have talked about the phycomycetes, lower fungi. Now, if we come to, I have in the previous slides, I have told you mycelium is cynocytic. Okay, so the what the mycelium means and what the cynocytic means, what septate means, what hyphae means. So see here, see this is a a typical structure of cynocytic hyphae. Okay, mycelium is cynocytic. First case, cynocytic. We have seen in the previous slide. Means, and the nucleus, multiple nucleus. Cynocytic, multiple nucleus, mycelium. This structure is your what? This structure is actually your mycelium. Collection of hyphae forms a mycelium, and this mycelium what it actually do, it is actually a branch like structure, branching, it forms a vigorous branch around and exaggerate the structure of the fungi. See this cynocytic means the nucleus is multiple nucleus, means there is no subtation present, they are freely distributed all over here, they are freely roaming, nucleus is freely roaming everywhere, there is no subtation found. So there is those which have the multiple nucleus with no subtation, they are termed as cynocytic hyphae, and those with the septations, these is the septum present. See here, this is a septa present here, which is dividing each and every septum contains, means a cabin contains, which is separated by septum like this and this, it will contain only a single nucleus, no free movement have been allowed. So these are termed as non-cynocytic, these are non-cynocytic, non-cynocytic, got it? So this is all about cynocytic and non-cynocytic. So always remember this term, what is septate, what is aseptate, remember all these words during your study. I will talk about Ascomycetes now, which is another class of the fungi, which is called the sac fungi. They are saprophytic, can be saprophytic as well as they have found to be parasitic also. Actually, they have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So among that heterotrophic mode of nutrition, some are found to be saprophytic, totally saprophytic. Some are found to be parasitic. Some are found to be both. They show both kind of nutrition. So this is one of them that will show the saprophytic as well as parasitic mode of nutrition. They reproduces by means of conidia. The difference between conidia and sporangiospores, I'll tell you later in my slides. Sexual reproduction occurs by ascospores, ascus containing bodies. I have talked about sporangiaspores, sporangiospores, sporangium, and here we'll talk about the ascus that will as a cup-like structure which will contain the spores, which is known as ascospores, ascus-like body. Branched and separate mycelium. In my previous slides, you have seen what is branched and separate mycelium. This is found in Ascomycetes, and that you have found the multiple nucleus. That condition was cynocytic there. Example here is the Penicillium, Aspergillus, and Claviceps. See here, conidia. These are the conidiots. Means here you cannot found any. Here you cannot found any spores enclosed inside the body. This body. Are you finding any kind of the spores enclosed inside this kind of body? No. So these spores, what these spores are in, these spores are exposed to the environment, and those spores which are exposed towards the environment are termed as conidia or conidia. Okay, single is conidia, and many of them in the plural will be called as conidia. And on the structure which they are present, this structure, this very structure is termed as phylidae. And the second structure, supporting structure, is medullae, is up to this conidia, and phylidae is more very much sufficient for you to know about. And this is a vesicular structure, and this is a structure bearing this conidia is conidiophore, sporangiophore, and conidiophore. So make up your mind, like if you talk about Ascomycetes, they have the bearing bodies conidiophore, and another is the sporangiospores, and this is your hyphae here, and this is a typical figure of Aspergillus. Aspergillus causes many of the asthmatic patients got infections by this, is got as aspergillosis, many respiratory infections. Your fungi can also grow in your lungs also, sorry, in the respiratory tract, and causes many infections as well. So aspergillosis it has been called. So Aspergillus is a pathogenic also. Now we'll talk about Basidiomycetes, which is termed as the club fungi. These generally perform vegetative reproduction through fragmentation has been seen. Absence of sex organs have been observed here, and plasmogamy means the gametangial copulation, copulation, or you can say gametangial contact takes place between the two vegetative and the somatic cells. Vegetative cells and somatic cell is a common thing. Means these are the cells which are responsible for the reproduction, not for the reproduction, but here because of the the nucleus of the vegetative cells divides here. Vegetative or the somatic cells divide here, and they form that formation of basidia, or termed as in plural basidium. Basidium undergoes now karyogamy, means nucleus division, which is termed as karyogamy, and now later on they will go under meiosis, means under meiosis when they will go, they will show reductional divisions. So their reductional division will lead to the formation of the four haploid spores, which is termed as basidiospores. Now, the examples of basidiomycetes are agaricus, which is mushroom, astilago, that is smut, and this astilago in Puccinia is also an example of basidiomycetes. These are responsible to destroy the crop of the wheat. They have been found to destroy the crop of the wheat. So, the astilago causes smut disease of wheat, and Puccinia causes rust disease of the wheat. So always remember the fungi which destroys the crop of the this wheat is a member of a which class of fungi? Basidiomycetes. Got it? This is the structure you can find of a typical mushrooms growing during the rainy seasons around the moist and shady places. Here is also the structures of mushrooms you can find. These have a typical umbrella-like structures and stem-like structures. So this is a typical structure of Basidiomycetes member. Now, if we talk about Deuteromycetes are termed as fungi imperfecti, and there is always being a question asked in the short and very short type of answer that why they are termed as imperfect fungi. Which of the fungi are termed to be the imperfect fungi? So, members of the Deuteromycetes comes under imperfect fungi, and what's the reason behind being called as imperfect fungi? As they do not perform sexual reproduction, so any stage of their life they do not undergo any sexual kind mode of reproduction, they are termed as fungi imperfecti. And the asexual reproduction here also occurs by conidia, and this mycelium is here septate and branched. If I'm talking about septate and branched, you must know about, because I have discussed earlier in my slides. Examples of Deuteromycetes is Alternaria and Trichoderma. Alternaria, which destroys the crop of destroys and grows on the crops of your potato. Alternaria solanae, and this Alternaria solanae destroys the crop of the potato during the winter season. Zygomycetes is known as conjugation fungi, and the example of conjugation fungi is Rhizopus also, and they are primitive group of fungi, asexual by non-motile sporangiospores. If I'm talking about non-motile, means those aplanospores are here. For example, Rhizopus is given here. See, this is a typical figure of Alternaria solanae, and this is can be only seen when you will scrap the diseased part of the potato leaf, and from that diseased part of the potato leaf, when you will use a slide and put the infected part on the slide, and under that observation will find observation under electron microscope, you will come to see the structure of Alternaria, and this is a typical structure of Alternaria solanae. Okay, so this is all about